Now, many of you that want to make the argument that okay, I guess that's irrelevant. So let's move forward, right? Now, let us go. I know that's probably not enough, right? They're two different worlds. John 3:16 and Isaiah 45:17 are not the same world. All right? Now, let's go to Ephesians chapter 3. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 3, shall we? Let's go back to the New Testament and let's let Paul clarify something, shall we? Ephesians chapter 3. We're gonna... Okay. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 3 and we're going to read verse 2 and the last two verses, 20 and 21. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 3. We're going to read verse 2 and we're going to read the last two chapters, 20 and 21. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm not going to do that. Even though there are some key points in this chapter, but I'm not going to read the whole chapter, all right? I'm not going to do that. All right, now, because there's a lot of irrelevance to my message here, and not that chapter 3 is irrelevant, but to the message. So, Ephesians chapter 3, I'm going to read verse 2, and then I'm going to read verses 20 and 21. Verse 2, if ye had heard of the dispensation of the grace of God, which is given to me to youward. Now, what's a dispensation? A dispensation is a time period. Okay? All right? Time period of what? Of grace. So, see, Christian, grace doesn't last forever. Grace ends when you're dead, and if you have not repented and you die, then that's between you and Christ. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to tell you where you're going to go. But I'm telling you this. If you die, something happens to you, and you have not repented, then that's between you and the Almighty. Good luck. Now, grace also ends the return of Christ. Okay? Grace is a period. It's a period of time. Okay? We all have to repent. We do. Every last one of us. Right? Now, we're never going to be perfect. I understand that. But we all have an iniquity that we need to repent from. A specific iniquity. That's hard for each one of us have that iniquity that's hard for us to shake off. Okay? Now, let's go to verse 20 and 21, shall we? Now, unto him that is able to do exceeding abundant above all that we ask or think. Now, I'm going to reread that. I don't like the KJV sometimes, but it's basically saying, now unto him, Christ, God, that is able, he's able, to do exceeding abundant above all that we ask or think. Christ has the power to do whatever we want him to do. Or think, or what we can think, because his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, his ways are higher than our ways. According to the power that worketh in us. That's interesting, because now he's talking about the power that's working in us. Unto him be glory in the church. I would like to use the word congregation. By Yahusha, by Mashiach Yahusha, or by Christ Yahusha, throughout all ages, world without end. Now, unto him be glory unto the congregation. Now, the congregation is not all of Israel. As a matter of fact, okay. So, what does this world mean? Once again, Ephesians 3, chapter 21. Unto him be glory in the church by Christ Yahusha throughout all ages, world without end. Again, what does it mean? World. This is the Greek, which really is from the Hebrew olam. What does it mean? Age, course, eternal, evermore, beginning of the, while, that's time, world began without end, never, evermore, age, eternal, it's perpetuity, also past, age by extension. It's a messianic period. The future, present or future. He's talking about the reign. So John 3:16 is talking about another world. John 3:16 is talking about his actual creation. Now I'm making a case. Who want to bang with it? John 3:16 is not talking about the world in which the Israelites will rule. John 3:16 is giving any and everybody a chance that trusteth in Revelations 1:14 and 15 and wholeheartedly attempts to keep the commandments, to guard the commandments of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's talking about the Arab man that believes that Christ is Elohim and that Christ was a black man that sprung out of the tribe of Judah, that had woolly hair and whose feet and whose skin color was as if burned in the fire, was as if bronze as if burned in the fire, or brass. It's to the China man, to the Caucasian man, to the Persian man, to the African man, to not Esau, because Esau will be utterly destroyed, because Esau is wicked, and Esau is in direct cahoots with Satan. There's no hope for Esau, but there's hope for any individual from any nation that takes and holds fast with trust and belief in Revelations 1:14 and 15, and clings to the nation of Israel, doesn't hate his people, and wholeheartedly attempts to follow the Torah of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Torah of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What person from another nation is willing to grab hold of the customs of the Torah, of the law of Moses, and trust in Revelations 1:14 and 15. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. Third segment, the wild olive tree. Third segment, the wild olive tree. Okay? Let's go to Romans 11. We have to read